Thank you for being here. This is my new workspace. I've spent like what feels like a week cleaning and organizing it. And I've made it so it's like a common area. So my daughter and I have sort of split the room, like the other side is where all of her playthings are, and a lot of the times we'll just be in here working together. But I really feel happy and peaceful. And that's a weird feeling for me. So I'm learning to like work on the things that I love. In a space that's nourishing and safe. Yeah, and just so peaceful. And I wish that for you, for everybody, that one day you can like carve out a little corner in your life that feels that way, because it's so important for a creative practice. And it's taken me a while to really compare and contrast when you feel emotionally drained. Like there's not much left for creativity, and a lot of things can do that to us. And so it's really important to like protect our energy as much as possible. And one helpful way that someone told me to think about it is to put on my invisibility cloak, like from Harry Potter. When you feel like you're being like drained of yourself, put on your invisibility cloak so that you don't continue to evaporate. So let's see. Yeah, I wanted to make the gifts that I send personalized, and so I made these hand-painted gift tags. I think my favorite part about them is the background color. I've gotten a lot of compliments on the colors that I use and mix. And the interesting thing is, it's not something that you know, like I just was good at. Like I was terrible at it for most of the time. Like it was just really hard and confusing. And if I ever tried to make this like lovely lime green or this gentle pink, like it would just be pretty impossible for me. Like I just didn't get it. And so finally I feel like I'm at a place where it's more intuitive. And one of the reasons for that is that I learned that let me see here. The type of primary colors that you use is what controls the pigment, like the brightness or the darkness. I used to just only use like one blue, one yellow, one red, mainly because it's all I could afford, and because it's all I could afford, I learned to mix colors, which is great. And then eventually I learned that to have variations, you need variations of your primary colors. So you can complete all of your work with just the primary colors. And that's what I would recommend, because then it's really hard to duplicate like the way someone chooses color, and that's what you want. And so yeah, use a variety of your primaries. It'll be fun. It'll be like a science experiment. Anyways, thank you for being here. I'm going to show you some of the painting process I used for these cutie pies, and I hope it's relaxing. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else that I'm forgetting about. I have a shop where you can get lots of cute little paper goods. It's hard for me to decide whether to keep it as my name, like Yamari, which is tricky for people to say, but also like I feel weird having like a store with my name on it. Or the alternative is I made a little shop name called Big Berry, and it's kind of like a little protective shield for me because it's not my name. So it's nice, that I can make work but sell it through the shop without like my name. But yeah, I've really struggled to decide which direction to go in. So if you have any thoughts or comments about what really resonates with you more, please let me know, because this is like giving me a headache to think about. First, I'm gonna have a little sip of my tea. So I've moved a little bit away from coffee and started drinking more tea, because coffee has a way of instigating anxiety for me. So I don't want to feel like that. So I started drinking Irish black tea, and I gotta say it's pretty tasty. So I used to not really illustrate animals. I'm not really sure why. I always focused on people, or like pretty patterns. And once, I got a commission a few years back to do a poster for a book festival, and one of the proposals I submitted that was selected was reading animals. And so I feel like ever since that commission, my love for illustrating animals started. Like before that, it just wasn't something that
like really piqued my interest. Or maybe I was like intimidated by it. Like maybe I didn't think like I could do it. Something happened. But like once I started, I was hooked. Now I feel like I primarily illustrate animals. I still love painting people, but just I'm still on that, you know, in love with the animal subject matter. And the wonderful thing is that the way like we choose to illustrate them is like up to us. It's all very unique. There's many different styles of illustrating animals that I feel like it's one of the most open and free subject matters that you can tackle. And when I paint, I would say I'm like more of a intuitive illustrator, just by nature. If it's like for a client, I do a lot of studies and sketches and, you know, get their approval before I move forward with things. But when it's just for personal work or for the shop, that's my favorite, I think, time to explore different styles and different mediums, which is one of the reasons I love running a shop. It's because like it's always provided a place of freedom for me. Like with client work, you have a level of freedom with like the concepts and you know, you get to do it in your own style, and but they have to approve what you do. Whereas like when it's our personal work, we can experiment a little more. So Binberry has been like this very intuitive experiment in itself, you know, just exploring what styles I like doing the best, because running an online shop, you know, especially, you know, an artist shop where I'm creating everything, I always have to be producing new ideas and new work and new products, and that's part of the excitement, I think, for me, because it challenges me to keep generating ideas. Like I can't just not think of something new, because I think if you're visiting the shop to buy something, like you wanna be able to see something new each time. That's part of, I think, the excitement. And so it's also part of the excitement for me that I have to keep thinking, have to keep generating ideas year after year. And it's actually, I would say that the shop has really been the single most like positive reasons for my work improving and growing, and for like being able to develop my style as an illustrator and painter. Just because, you know, I had to create products and I had to create, like, keep generating new ideas. And I think when it's just up to us without any like external pressure, it's easy to procrastinate and, you know, not really produce new work and push ourselves year after year, which is really one of the keys to developing a style that's just, you know, yours and that you're proud of and that really just comes easy to you. Because I feel like that's all a style really is. It's like, what can you do that's just something that comes easily to you? You don't even think about it. You just do it intuitively. And I think that's why we're so amazed at people that can do these remarkable creative things. They've just been doing it for so long that it's just like essentially us witnessing their soul. Like when we listen to a musician, we're just, you know, really amazed by or really resonate with. We're basically just really experiencing that person's soul. So I decided not to give them clothes. I usually give my little animals clothes, but I chose not to this time because I feel like their pokey fur would poke through the clothes. Haha. And that they decided they don't need it. At least that's the story that I'm imagining. Adding a little pink here just for warmth because I want them to look friendly. And not like they're freezing cold, which they probably are. Because it's winter where they are. I would say the hardest part about painting that not only I struggle with, but I think most people that want to paint or are painting is the color mixing. I try to just mix my own, which can be like the most time-consuming part. Of painting. You know, trying to put colors together like how you would put an outfit together, like that they work well together and they're not necessarily like clashing, unless I guess you're going for that vibe. But I usually like for them to be complementary to each other. And that takes a little bit of trial and error. But it's also the reason to paint. It's like the most fun part of painting. It's just getting to mix those colors. I think their faces are looking a little too red for my liking, so I'm gonna lighten them up little by little with a little cool color after I take out some of that super redness. I looked up a picture of porcupines and they're looks like they're like black with gray. So mine may be a little off in like the colors. Okay, now I'm gonna go in and just add some like green foliage type of color. But I've been trying to play with the green because I noticed that if you go and look at my products, there's a lot of green in there, and so I mean that's nice, I guess, but I also just really wanted to vary the green and not just be the person who only uses green. But you know what affects how you mix your green is actually the type of yellow that you use. So your yellow is very important in like your choice of yellow, because it really impacts the warmth of your green, or like the coolness, and like how vibrant it is, or like how gloomy it is. So definitely like yellow. I'm using yellow medium, which is very bright. It's almost like pure yellow, and so the greens that it makes are very like true to nature, as I would call them. Like you have to add a little bit of red or they're like, ugh, really garish forest greens, which is not my favorite. So yeah, pay attention to your yellow. And this green is actually looking a little too fall, like too autumn. It needs to be a little darker, I think, for it to feel like winter and Christmas. Oh, there we go. So I added some blue, so it feels a little more like Christmassy. I had some trees here, but it looks like they got covered up. So I'm just improvising, basically, like how a comedian would improvise, or an actor, or maybe, or a musician. I also do that a lot. And I definitely recommend it. Like, I recommend structured art time where you are, you've set a goal, you want to learn a specific thing, like perspective or color or figures, or landscapes, but also just like let your imagination flow. Guess that would be like the Bob Ross way. Like do your thing, let your imagination flow for a bit, and see what's in there, see what's in your mind. You might be surprised by what you find. One thing, I think that I've gotten a lot of amazing advice and feedback from various professionals that I just deeply admire. One for just their talent, but also they're just so kind and have just really given me wonderful advice that has stayed with me. And one of the things was from an art director who told me to have less fear with my color. I guess that's how I would put it. Like he said, the sky doesn't have to be blue, like trees don't have to be green, even though I just totally broke that rule. But like I get what he's saying, like, you know, don't be afraid to make things look strange, because I feel like that's the type of stuff in art and just different medias that we really gravitate towards, is stuff that's just really strange. And then it just becomes like pop culture at some point, and enough people think it's like a cool type of strange, I guess. You know, I never intended to make like children's illustrations, or illustrations that like are very just friendly and like adorable. That was definitely not like a intentional plan for a long time. Like now it totally is. Now I just basically I see my life's work as like work that will just like make someone smile because it's like cute or adorable or silly or pretty. I feel like if I can just make someone feel like cozy and warm and happy with something that I drew, that's what I want to do. Because the people that have done that for me, I'm just always thinking about how grateful I am that, you know, someone out there in the world decided that they would put out something into the world that can make the world just a little bit brighter, a little more happy. Because I know I need that often, and maybe others do too. Just adding a little curly cue to tie everything in. And yeah, my green is getting darker and darker because I feel like it's looking a little too fall, too autumny. And I want it to look colder, more wintry. I think it's called wildberry or winterberry. Yeah, it's more of what I was aiming for. But I added too much red, so you end up making olive when you add too much red. And although I love a good red as much as the next person, it made my wintry green too warm. So when I'm painting, I paint what's called a bleed. So a bleed is like extra art that you add that, you know, no one will ever see. But when you scan your work and you size it to like whatever product you're trying to make, you're gonna find out that you need more art to make up for like the difference of sizes in products, and it makes your art a little more versatile for different products if you can scale them like smaller or bigger. So think about adding your bleed, and that's extra edges that no one will see, but it'll save you time, like in the end, because you won't have to like sit there and try to make it digitally or something, which you'll find happens often if you didn't account for it in the first place. So just save yourself some trouble. And I think this red is too like purpley, if that makes sense. So I'm actually what red did I use? So I used this carmine, but I'm gonna switch it to scarlet because I want their little faces to be a little bit warmer, and it's not happening with the carmine. Like, I keep trying, but it's like too purple. But what I'm going for is a little bit more pink. There we go. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of that cool blue I used in the background to make a little bit of like a little highlight over here in the front. Oh, he looks really happy. He looks, or she, I'm not sure, uncertain, like, where are we going? He's like, don't worry about it. I got you, girl. And I'm using super tiny, like the tiniest brushes a store had, because I'm just used to it. Like, I've never had a big space to work in, and so my work has always had to be in proportion to my workspace. And now I could technically make larger work, but I'm so used to making tiny work that I just don't. And then let's see, so we're gonna make the to and from the porcupine color. And I had lettered it here and now I can't find it, so we're just gonna freehand it, which is a little scary with paint. But we can also fix it, so don't worry. colon, and from, I'm actually gonna print these and use them this year for gifts. So a lot of the products that I end up making, it's usually because like I need gifts, and I don't necessarily believe in like buying expensive stuff for people, especially for like the winter holidays. And so if I can make them something, I will. The only thing that I'm okay with like buying is like books. I know you like books, I'm gonna buy you a nice book. Even if you don't read that much, I might find a book that you might like. I got my daughter mainly books because we do a lot of story time at night, and we've kind of like read all of her books enough times that I don't want to read them anymore. Not for a while. Might want to read them again later, but I'm okay with not reading them for a while, so I got her quite a few new books. Well, not new books, used books. Yeah, if you can find used books, I found them at Once Upon a Child, but you can go to thrift stores and just find little gold mines of books. Then sometimes there's just like really old books that I don't know like what era they're from, maybe like the 60s, like really, really, really old books. Do people still buy books from thrift stores? I wonder. Oops. So I'm adding like little just specks of pure white. So one of the ways to make traditional work kind of like glow or have that like je ne sais quoi sparkle, is to leave your most brightest colors for last. Like don't start with super bright colors, you know, work from dark to light. Because then when you do add them, oops, there's like a little pink in there, I like it. The colors will stand out more. And since it's all like wintry, I'm gonna add some of those winter berries I was talking about. I used carmine for the other two tags, but for this one, oh, look at this. Look at this. Can you see it? It's bright red scarlet. I am a color nerd for scarlet. So it's this gorgeous, like orange red. I think I'm in love with scarlet. If I have another daughter, I might name her Scarlet. Wait, I take that back. That's a terrible name. Oh my god. I just realized what it means. Oh, that's so sad because it's such a gorgeous color. Oh man, I wish you could see this in person. It is so bright. Oh, like I want to eat it. I'm gonna make some of these berries giant. Now I haven't found representation like as a freelance illustrator. I stopped querying because I had to move. I moved from Tennessee to Florida. And it was so like exhausting, the move, that all I could focus on was trying to get settled and feel like I was at home. So I just started seeing who I could pitch to. Mainly children's books and graphic novels outside of my online shop, of course. So I technically, like, I could just be done, but since I'm still here, like I have a lot of green, I'm just gonna add some like swirly edges to some of these leaves. You know, it's really fun when you find like these like little extra details in people's work. I just love it. Like when you see a movie twice and then you're like, oh, they said that and that's a clue for later. I like in art when artists take great care in like how they make the shapes and like the little line work that they choose. I think it makes me want to drool when an artist does that. Alright, so it's starting to look quite Christmassy. And I would say like the main thing if you're making art or something is to have fun. I think I say this over and over again, but it's true. Because the more fun you're having, the more you'll enjoy the work and the stronger the work will be. Because you're doing something you love. Or you're doing something in a way that you love. So do your thing with great love and great fun. Like, I've discovered that I'm obsessed with dots. Like, I love making little dots almost in everything because it's very calming for me. I'm not sure if I like this little squirrely curlicue that I did up there. But it's up there, so now I gotta commit. So what I'm gonna do is make it thicker, so it looks like a vine. And I'm not one like for borders, but for some reason I've been really into borders. I know it's like a fun thing to experiment with. Just noticed something that could be a little better, which is not having that there. So that's gonna take a few layers. So you can fix things, you know, relatively easy with gouache. But I I would say like it takes layers, so you gotta have some patience. Patience! Which is not something I'm like a super master of, but it's like you can't paint or be a painter if you don't have patience, so we gotta get better at it, you guys, or you'll get really frustrated when you make something that you didn't mean to. You know what? I do not appreciate that border or the way I made it. It's like all wonky and like messy. Do not appreciate you, so I erase you. So here are the 3 final gift tags. Which one's your favorite? Try to decide which one my favorite is. So we have sledding porcupines, 2 little porcupines sledding into what looks like a snowstorm. Poor little guys, hope they're safe. 2 little Gabby BFF birds. And a little dinosaur, probably like a stegosaurus. See if I can zoom. Gobbling up the Christmas present. One of my favorite parts of traditional art is like the messy edges. Everything's a little imperfect, but this is perfect. What I was talking about is bleed. You know, at the end of the day, even if you make something by hand, it's gonna end up digital because you need to scan it. 1, to preserve it, you know, in case you lose or the original gets destroyed, you'll have an image of it. But 2, because it makes creating products more versatile. Thank you so much for joining me as I painted some gift tags. I'm surprised at how they came out. I know that may sound strange. I've been painting for so long that it's not something I have to like worry about when I do. When I have the idea, I just can get started. But I'm still like it feels like I'm a witch. Like it's this weird magic. Not because like I'm amazing, but because it's just water and pigment. That's all it is. And you just mix it all together in a way that imprints an image into someone's mind, which is why I like to make things colorful and like joyful and happy. Like I want to imprint positive experiences and memories into, you know, my products and my illustration. I hope that you enjoyed this and you maybe like were inspired to create your own gift tags, or to just be a little more creative throughout your day. I think it's inside of all of us if we just make a few moments to express our creativity. But yeah, it's been fun.
I'm gonna scan these now. Okay, till next time.